Alright, so for this reading log, I chose I Like Old Clothes. I Like Old Clothes is by Mary Ann Haberman, illustrated by Patricia Barton, and published by Alfred A. Knopf. The copyright date was in 1976, but it was renewed in 2004, and then the new illustrations were added to it in 2012. So it had other illustrations, but they took those out and then redid all of them. So the genre is poetry. There's 22 pages, and the appropriate age would be kindergarten through third grade. In 2003, Mary Ann Haberman won the NCTE Award for Excellence in Poetry. So this story is about a little girl who loves old clothes. She loves to imagine where they've been and what they've done and what kind of games they've played and if their tea parties were fun or not. She loves the history and the mystery of where these clothes have been. So she loves getting new clothes, or old clothes, which are new to her, and she never throws a fit. She is just appreciative, and I felt like the theme was definitely gratefulness and imagination because she does have such a wild imagination of what these clothes have been through and where they've been, and she's always grateful and appreciative of the people who give her these clothes, and she imagines the little girls who wore them before her, what kind of color of hair they have, what other kind of clothes they wore, stuff like that. So the illustrations are done in pencil sketches and they use mixed media, and they were assembled and painted digitally, which you can tell just because of like the different prints on each page. And then on this other page, it goes from plaid to brick. So they're really pretty illustrations. So the setting is in her home in a town. It didn't really say, so all of them take place in her home. This book would teach students a lesson about how they don't always have to have new things. We forget a lot of times that our grandmas and grandpas grew up wearing their older brothers and sisters' old hand-me-downs, and we are lucky to have the things that we have, and she knows that, and she just loves the history of where they've been. And the story also uses the element of rhyme and rhythm, so it would get kids interested and attached that way. She plays dress up a lot with these old clothes, and that reminded me a lot of my sister and how she always plays dress up. And when my mom gets my sister and I's old clothes out for her, and she gets so excited that she gets to look like us and when we were younger. So for an activity, so you could cut out different articles of clothing and put a letter on the back and then hang them up on a clothing line at the front of the room. Have each kid come up and select a random clothing article that had the letter on the back, and then they have to go stand or attach that article of clothing with the letter on the back to something that has the same letter in the classroom. And then you could go around and have each of them come up with a word that rhymed with the thing that they chose in the classroom. You could also have them do a thing of what doesn't belong. So you could have a winter coat, a pair of sandals, and a pair of shorts, and then they had to tell you which one didn't go with the group. So